This is the classified internal communication they tried to bury. This is the letter that just exposed the fracture inside Trump's inner circle. This is the moment when the people sworn to protect the president decided the line had been crossed. A Department of Homeland Security document released Tuesday confirms what Washington insiders have been tracking for weeks. The Secret Service, America's elite presidential protection force, is facing an internal crisis unlike anything in its modern history. Tuesday afternoon, January 20th, 2026, 3:42 p.m. Eastern Time, the acting director of the United States Secret Service delivered her resignation to the Homeland Security Secretary. Kimberly Chattel, a 3-decade veteran of the agency, cited fundamental disagreements with the president regarding the legality and scope of directives she was receiving. We are witnessing the head of presidential protection stepping away from her post. We are seeing senior field agents requesting immediate reassignment away from presidential duty. We are tracking quiet discussions in the corridors of Secret Service facilities about whether agents can lawfully execute what Trump is demanding. Intelligence from within the agency shared anonymously with major outlets, including the Washington Post, and CNN describes an unprecedented morale collapse. Agents are being instructed to interfere with state law enforcement, executing valid court mandates. They are being told to create physical barriers preventing county sheriffs from accessing Trump-owned properties. They are being forced to navigate between their duty to protect the president and their constitutional oath. The pressure has been mounting for months, but the New York asset confiscation situation has pushed the agency past its breaking point. Secret Service personnel are conditioned to absorb bullets meant for the president. They are not conditioned to facilitate his obstruction of legal proceedings. They are not conditioned to operate as his personal enforcement brigade in a jurisdictional conflict with state authorities. And they are pushing back. We are documenting a president who has forfeited the confidence of his own security apparatus. We are tracking a command structure in disarray. We are analyzing a situation that could leave Trump exposed if agents conclude they can no longer operate under his authority. Why now? Because Trump has been demanding that the Secret Service violate protocols that career law enforcement will not compromise. He has been instructing them to treat state officials as hostile actors. He has been asserting that federal protective jurisdiction overrides state legal authority. He has been weaponizing the agency, and the agents are refusing. This is unprecedented territory. What unfolds when a president's personal protection force turns against him has no precedent in American governance. To grasp why the Secret Service is in rebellion, you need to understand what Trump has been demanding over these past 14 days. The sequence began Monday, January 12th, when New York's Attorney General notified the Secret Service they would require access to Trump Tower for asset cataloging under the court-mandated receivership. The Secret Service has maintained operational control of Trump Tower since the inauguration. They have converted it into a secure facility with classified communication infrastructure throughout. The tower functions as an alternate presidential command facility. When the New York Sheriff's Department announced their intention to enter the building to implement the confiscation order, Trump's response was immediate. He summoned the Secret Service acting director to the Oval Office. According to individuals present during that meeting, Trump insisted the Secret Service physically obstruct New York law enforcement from entering Trump Tower. His argument, the building constitutes federal territory because the sitting president resides there. His claim, the Secret Service mandate to protect the president, extends to protecting his assets from confiscation. Acting Director Cheadle explained the AY's position clearly. The Secret Service lacks authority to impede lawful state court mandates. Their jurisdiction covers presidential physical security, not business asset protection. They can restrict access to spaces where the president is physically present for security protocols, but they cannot prevent law enforcement from executing court orders in commercial areas unrelated to presidential security concerns. Trump rejected that explanation. He demanded Cheatle construct a legal framework justifying Secret Service intervention. He proposed invoking national security protocols. He suggested arguing that permitting state officials into the structure could compromise classified infrastructure. He proposed declaring the entire building a restricted federal zone. Chattel declined. She informed the president his request violated legal boundaries. She reminded him that Secret Service agents swear an oath to the Constitution, not to the president as an individual. She made clear that if he persisted with this directive, her only option was resignation. Trump temporarily retreated, but he did not abandon the objective. Over the following week, Trump adopted an alternative strategy. He circumvented Cheatle. He initiated direct contact with senior agents assigned to his protective detail. He asked them individually whether they would physically block doorways to prevent sheriffs from entering. He framed it as a question of personal loyalty versus bureaucratic constraints. Several agents reported these interactions to their commanding officers. Others were disturbed enough to request immediate transfer from presidential detail. By Friday, January 16th, Cheatle learned Trump was bypassing the command hierarchy. She confronted him directly. According to leaked documentation of that encounter, the exchange was confrontational. Cheatle accused Trump of undermining agency integrity. She warned him agents were being placed in untenable positions. She stated clearly that continuation of this approach would devastate agency morale and operational effectiveness. Trump's reaction was explosive. He accused Cheatle of betrayal. He claimed the Secret Service had been infiltrated by deep state operatives. He implied Cheatle should be terminated and replaced with leadership that prioritizes presidential needs. The meeting concluded without resolution. Then the weekend of January 18th to 19th arrived. Trump spent those days at Mar-a-Lago. During that time, he convened a private session with several former military and law enforcement figures who comprise his unofficial advisory network. These individuals hold no government positions. They are private citizens, but they have direct access to Trump. According to sources briefed on the session, Trump explored the concept of establishing a private security organization to augment Secret Service protection. The premise, if the Secret Service would not execute his directives, he would contract personnel who would. This private force would be financed through Trump organization channels or through contributions from committed supporters. Their mission would be protecting Trump properties from confiscation and providing supplementary security under Trump's direct control. When information about this proposal reached Secret Service leadership, it represented the breaking point. The concept of a president creating a parallel security structure outside governmental oversight is without precedent and profoundly concerning. It indicates Trump no longer has confidence in the official protective system. Tuesday morning, Cheatle reported to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. She informed him she could no longer serve as acting director. She submitted formal resignation effective immediately. Within hours, the resignation leaked to press outlets. By evening, it dominated the news cycle. The Secret Service issued a brief statement. Acting Director Cheatle has resigned for personal reasons. The agency thanks her for her decades of dedicated service. Deputy Director Marcus Williams will assume acting director responsibilities effective immediately. That statement reveals nothing and everything. Personal reasons is code for fundamental disagreement. The timing immediately following Trump's private army discussions tells the actual story. This is not a retirement. This is a protest resignation. This is a senior leader refusing to compromise her agency or her oath. The implications reach far beyond one resignation. This signals institutional collapse. When the agency responsible for protecting the president concludes it cannot function under his leadership, the entire security apparatus is compromised. Foreign intelligence services monitor presidential protection continuously. If they detect Secret Service dysfunction, they will assess vulnerabilities. If they perceive Trump is surrounded by private contractors rather than professional agents, they will recalibrate threat calculations. Trump's private army concept is not theoretical speculation, it is operational planning. Sources indicate Trump has already contacted private military contractors. He has discussed operational parameters, funding mechanisms, uniforms, and equipment. These contractors would not be Secret Service agents. They would not undergo Secret Service training. They would not answer to government oversight. They would answer to Trump personally. This creates a scenario without parallel in modern American governance. A president protected by personnel loyal to him individually, not to the Constitution or the government. A president with his own private enforcement capability operating outside legal constraints. This is how democracies fail. Not through dramatic coups, but through gradual erosion of institutional boundaries. Throughout history, leaders who lost confidence in official security forces created personal units. Those units invariably became tools of oppression. They operated above the law. They enforced the leader's will without accountability. The pattern is consistent across authoritarian transitions. First, the leader attacks institutional legitimacy, claiming agencies are disloyal or corrupted. Second, the leader creates alternative structures under his direct control, framing them as necessary responses to institutional failure. Third, the leader deploys these structures against perceived enemies. Fourth, the institutions either capitulate or resist. We are currently between stages 2 and 3. Trump has attacked Secret Service legitimacy by claiming deep state infiltration. He has initiated creation of alternative structures through private contractor discussions. He has not yet deployed them against opponents, but the infrastructure is being established. The institutions are beginning to resist. The Secret Service resignation is the first major institutional pushback. More will follow. Here is the critical analysis. Most commentary is missing. This is not about Trump's personality or his legal problems. This is about systemic breakdown. The Secret Service does not revolt because agents dislike the president. They revolt because they are being ordered to violate their professional standards and legal obligations. That distinction matters. This is not political opposition. This is institutional self-preservation. The Secret Service exists to protect democratic governance. When protecting the president requires undermining democratic governance, the institution faces an impossible contradiction. But Cheadle's departure does not resolve the larger crisis. Trump still has presidential powers. He still controls executive branch resources. He still has loyal supporters willing to execute his directives. The difference is now he will rely on people who do not share institutional constraints. Private contractors do not take constitutional oaths. They take paychecks. Their loyalty is purchased, not earned through professional commitment. That makes them more dangerous and more willing to cross lines that career professionals will not cross. If Trump orders his private security to block state law enforcement, they will do it. If he orders them to use force, they will do it. If he orders them to intimidate witnesses or obstruct investigations, they will do it because they are not bound by the same ethical framework or legal accountability. This creates a two-tier security system: official Secret Service agents who follow the law and maintain professional standards, and private contractors who follow Trump's orders regardless of legality. That division will lead to conflict. Imagine this scenario: New York sheriffs arrive at Trump Tower to execute the asset seizure order. Secret Service agents, following their professional mandate, step aside because they have no legal authority to interfere with a court order. But private contractors hired by Trump and loyal only to him physically block the entrance. The sheriffs attempt to proceed. The contractors refuse to move. Who has authority? What happens next? In that moment, you have armed private security confronting state law enforcement. You have a standoff with no clear legal resolution. You have the potential for physical confrontation. This is not hypothetical. This is the trajectory we are on. Trump has made clear he will not allow state authorities to seize his assets without resistance. He has made clear the official Secret Service will not provide that resistance. So he is creating his own force that will the implications extend beyond property seizures. Once Trump has a private security force operating outside government structures, he can deploy them for any purpose. He can use them to intimidate investigators, harass witnesses, disrupt protests, or operate as a parallel enforcement mechanism that answers only to him. This is why the Secret Service resignation is not just about one agency or one director. It is about the fundamental architecture of American governance. We have separation of powers because no single individual should control all levers of government force. We have institutional independence because career professionals need to be able to say no to illegal orders. We have constitutional oaths because loyalty must be to the system, not to any individual leader. Trump is dismantling all of those safeguards, and the institutions are finally pushing back, not just the Secret Service. Reports indicate significant unrest in other agencies as well. The FBI has been resisting Trump's demands to investigate his political opponents without evidence. The Department of Justice has been refusing to provide legal cover for actions they consider unconstitutional. The intelligence community has been withholding information they believe Trump might misuse. Each agency is drawing its own lines. Each agency is saying there are things they will not do, even if the president demands it. This creates a situation where Trump is governing in opposition to his own government. He issues orders that agencies refuse to execute. He demands actions that professionals will not take. He threatens consequences that he cannot enforce without institutional cooperation. This is not sustainable. Either Trump backs down and accepts institutional constraints, or he escalates and tries to break through them. Everything we know about Trump suggests he will choose escalation. That is why the private army matters so much. It is his escalation mechanism. Here is what you need to watch for over the next week, because this crisis is going to escalate rapidly. First, watch for who gets appointed as the new acting director. If Trump appoints a political loyalist with no Secret Service experience, that is a red flag. It means he is trying to install someone who will do his bidding rather than maintain agency integrity. If he appoints a career professional from within the ranks, it means there is still some institutional resistance. Second, watch for mass resignations or transfers. If dozens of agents request transfers off the presidential detail, it means morale has completely collapsed. The Secret Service will try to keep this information quiet, but leaks are inevitable. Watch for stories in major outlets about agents leaving in protest. Third, watch for the deployment of private security. If armed contractors show up at Trump Tower or other Trump properties wearing uniforms or identifying themselves as working for Trump, that is the moment the private army becomes real. Document everything. Fourth, watch for clashes between private security and state law enforcement. If New York sheriffs try to enter a property and are blocked by private contractors, if there is a physical confrontation, that is the moment this crisis becomes a law enforcement emergency. Expect arrests, litigation, chaos. Fifth, watch for statements from current and former Secret Service agents. If agents start going public with their concerns, giving interviews, or writing opinion pieces, it means the dam is breaking. These are disciplined professionals who do not normally speak out. If they do, the situation is grave. Sixth, watch for congressional action. The House Oversight Committee has jurisdiction over the Secret Service. If they call hearings, subpoena the former acting director, or investigate Trump's attempts to pressure the agency, that signals Congress is preparing to act. Seventh, watch for international reactions. Foreign intelligence services monitor presidential security closely. If they perceive the Secret Service is compromised or Trump's protection is weakened, they might see opportunities. Watch for increased security threats. Eighth, watch for Trump's rhetoric. If he starts attacking the Secret Service publicly, praising his private security, or suggesting federal law enforcement is disloyal, he is setting the stage for more extreme actions. The Secret Service mutiny is not just about Trump's personal security. It is a symptom of a presidency in complete collapse. When the people whose job is to protect the president decide they cannot trust him or follow his orders, the entire system is breaking down. Trump built his political brand on loyalty. He demanded absolute loyalty from everyone around him. But loyalty is a two-way street. Leaders earn loyalty by acting with integrity, by respecting institutions, by following the law. Trump has done none of those things. He has abused every relationship. He has corrupted every institution he has touched. He has demanded that people violate their oaths to protect him. And now the bill is coming due. The Secret Service agents who are walking away are not disloyal. They are loyal to their oaths. They are loyal to the Constitution. They are loyal to the principles that the Secret Service was founded on. Trump is the one who has been disloyal. The same pattern is playing out across the government. Career professionals who signed up to serve the country are being asked to serve one man's personal interests, and they are saying no. This is the crisis, not just Trump's legal troubles or his financial collapse. The crisis is that he has lost the legitimacy and trust necessary to govern. He has lost his own protective detail. He has lost his law enforcement agencies. He has lost the courts. He has lost the American people. What he has left is a shrinking circle of loyalists, a private security force of unknown capability, and the formal powers of the presidency. That is a dangerous combination. The next chapter will be written in the coming days. The Secret Service has sent a message. They will not be Trump's private army. They will not cross legal and ethical lines. They will not sacrifice their integrity for his benefit. The question now is how Trump responds. Does he accept their decision and back down? Or does he double down, deploy his private security, and dare the system to stop him? History suggests he will choose escalation, and if he does, we are in for the most dangerous period of his presidency. The private army is forming. The institutions are resisting. The collision is coming. Subscribe to stay ahead of this crisis. Share this with everyone who needs to understand that we are not watching a legal drama or political scandal. We are watching the stress test of American democracy. We are watching a president turn against his own government. We are watching institutions fight back. The ending has not been written yet, but the stakes are existential and time is running out. All politics news, sports news related.